Hello, in this video I'd like to explain to you what a legacy migration or legacy migration adjustment is. So basically, as of April 22nd, 2016, we began migrating all the customer data from the old system to the new system. So what that is that you might have remembered that when you opened your account, there was an area that had a thing called pricing options and proposal builder and package builder, and you had to go to a lot of different places in order to edit and set up your different modules. Well, we created a new area called the services area, and when we did that, we made things a lot more linear so that when you went into a service, for example carpet cleaning, it now operates from a step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4 perspective, so that you can set up your packages, you can set up all of the way your questions are going to be asked, what kind of options your customers are going to be given, and then we give you the ability to set up your pricing. In the final step, we make it so that you can take care of any trip charges or minimums that you want to have, and any volume discounts, and any disclaimers. So with this much more linear and easy to use option, we wanted to migrate all of these older services into this much more exciting format and much more easy to use format. Now, before we did the migration, you may recall that when you went into a customer and you looked at the prices, there was a kind of a way to do adjustments, and there was a way to discount things down if you needed to, but it's quite a bit different than the new system. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a migrated bid. So Rachel Doe, when she got her quote back in 2015, the old system would have collected the specifications about the job, and then it would have just shown the prices and if you need to make any adjustments. But now you can actually open it up and see how the price was calculated, and if necessary, drill down to see that. You can now make your adjustments inside here, and some people may have noticed that when a service was migrated, that somehow a legacy migration adjustment was made. So what that would mean, in this case, you can see that no legacy migration adjustment was made. And that's because the very first part of the migration process, it's a very, very fast process. The computer does it as the upgrade was taking place in an automated way. What we did is the first thing we did was take all of your pricing from your old modules and convert them into what that would look like in the new module. So whatever you charge per window, whatever you charge per square foot, whatever you charge for any aspect of your bidding would automatically be put into the new format. And as you can see, the next part of the process was to come in and take the user specifications and price it out using the new format and actually run a bid for you against those prices. So in this case, the bid came out and here were the resulting prices, and I happen to know, because there is no adjustment here, that these prices exactly line up with what the prices were originally for this customer, because that was the final aspect of the check, is that when we get these numbers in the migration, we would actually really quickly look to see what the previous prices were, and if they were the same, then we left it alone. But if they were different, then we would add or subtract as a legacy migration adjustment to it. Let me show you what I mean. If I go back to the dashboard here and I go to Kate Linard's, you can see that in this window cleaning bid, the basic came out just fine and there was no adjustment needed. But in the deluxe, we ended up having to add $30 to the bid to make up for what I would assume is probably a price change that happened in the module after this bid was initially created. So you can see that when this bid was run, everything was fine. Someone went in and changed the pricing, and then the migration happened. But the migration took the current pricing as of the day it was migrated into account. And then when the migration was done and it came out to $425, it said, okay, that is $30 too low. So we're going to add $30 to this, and we'll come up with the $455 that was originally quoted to the customer. Okay? So the legacy migration adjustment is just a one-time adjustment that we added in an automated way in order to get the price right. Now again, this would mean that the customer, when they were, the last bid that we had on file for this customer was $1,037. Well, when we ran the bid against the prices that were in that exact moment, we were $29.75 too low for the premium. So we went ahead and added that, and you can see that that's where this price came from. Now, of course, you can always add more adjustments as you need to, and we actually have another video about that. But this legacy migration adjustment is one that the system put in place for you so that it could run. So now here's the problem, and it's not really a problem, it's just something that you need to understand, is that if I go ahead and add a pane and I save this bid, well, it's going to add the price of that pane into the price, but that legacy migration adjustment that we had in the deluxe and premium package, it didn't go away. So if you want to calculate against today's prices and you want to add this, then it would be to your advantage to go ahead and delete that adjustment so that you could go ahead and now get a quote based off of today's actual prices. If you want to leave the legacy migration adjustment, you're totally allowed to do that and it'll work just fine. It's just that this was intended to be a buffer zone between what things were when the quote was originally given and what they were at the time, at that exact moment in time when your company got migrated to the new system. So you may not want to leave that in there. There is one other situation that the legacy migration adjustment will appear, and that is almost exclusively going to happen in the rough window cleaning with sunscreens enabled. And the reason is that the sunscreens portion of the rough window cleaning was not compatible with the new modules. And so we took some liberties to just say how much, with 25%, 50%, 75%, or 100% extra of the base price would be included based on the amount of sunscreens that were chosen. Now, it may be close for your company, or it may be kind of far off, but because it's using a totally different methodology, almost every single time there will at least be a couple dollars, or in some cases a more significant number of dollars, to adjust the bid up from what we kind of had to pull out of thin air in order to make that one work than what you actually want it to be. And in those cases, if you're using window cleaning rough as one of your modules, you will want to go into there, and you can see that step 3 is where pricing is, and you can see that this is where we just threw in 25, 50, 75, and 100% as the numbers to be multiplied against the base price, and you can make any corrections that you need to. So that's really the only time that you'll consistently see the legacy migration adjustment. The only other time is the older the bid is, the more likely it is that you may have gone in and changed your pricing between the time that that bid was calculated and the time that the migration happened. And if that did happen, then that's why that buffer zone is there. So now that you know how it works, you can get rid of it in old bids if you'd like and just calculate against your new prices, or you can leave it there and make fine-tune adjustments as necessary. We just didn't want to make any assumptions, and so in the migration we wanted to make sure that your prices all came out penny perfect to what they were at the time of the conversion. So I hope that makes sense, and of course if you ever have any questions, never hesitate to click on the chat button and chat with us about any questions you might have.